Okay, today, actually I should say right now I'm going to do Hugo's Texas barbecued shrimp. Which is, I own a little restaurant called Rosemary's in Las Vegas, and this has pretty much been on the menu since day one. And Hugo, because I know you're all wondering, Hugo was my wife's stepfather, and this is a sauce that he created way back when he was at a party. Hugo was a big poker player, and when you have a poker party, wherever you go, that person's supposed to supply the food. Well, basically they ran out of food, and Hugo got upset, so he walked into the kitchen of this guy, opened up the fridge, and pretty much found these ingredients right here in front of him in the fridge, and created his own, what he called his Texas barbecue sauce. Now we have Liam Perrin's Worcestershire, and only Liam Perrin's, okay? There is no other Worcestershire on the planet other than Liam Perrin's. You want to use soy, nice dark soy. Now whatever soy you like a light soy, you like a dark richer soy, it's completely up to you. This one here, we just use a straightforward Kikkoman soy sauce, okay? We have some fresh lemon juice. Please, God in heaven, use fresh lemons only. Do not buy it from the jar. And finally, my recipe says tomato puree. You can use tomato puree, or here we're using ketchup. And finally, some dark brown sugar, okay? And this right here is what I call the barbecue base, okay, which is stage one. So it's a simple process of just getting everything into the pot. Hold on. All right, so I'm gonna crank my heat, as you can see right there. If you got gas, now many times you'll see where the flame is lipping up the side of that pan. This is what you want to avoid. Even though your thing might say high, what it's really asking for is the flame to completely be touching the bottom of the pan and to have a nice contact with the bottom surface. If not, it'll lip up the sides, and the potential for burning the sauce is increased. So even though you have that gas, be very aware of the level that the flame is below the pot. Now we're just going to bring everything together. So first in Liam Perrin's, next in soy, salty so far, okay? Ketchup. Now ketchup kind of gives me a little bit of sweet as well as the tomato. This is real hard, huh? Very difficult so far. The sugar. Now you can see I say my lemons for last because I want to mention one quick thing about a lemon, and that is the seeds, okay? You got the seeds. The seeds are going to do only one thing, and the seeds are going to make things bitter, okay? So one thing that I want to do before I start squeezing this thing is try to find as many of the seeds as I can. They're going to be in the center, near the core, so I kind of just go through each one and make sure, because sometimes, bang, they'd be hiding down below, like that. Okay, so real quick, just want to get them all right? The other thing is, too, I always do it over my hand, okay? So if there's any seeds left in there, I'm going to just kind of trap it in my hand first. And I want you to squeeze it, and I want you to really get mad and just get angry at this thing and squeeze every little bit of juice out of there from both sides. One lemon is roughly, see that? Caught one right there. Nice try, buddy. And just squeeze, and there's another one, okay? Now, with those kind of intense flavors in there, is one seed really going to make that big a difference and make it all bitter? No, but as a point of habit, we want to get into the habit of always getting rid of the seeds from our citrus. Okay? So the simplest thing here is we just bring this to a boil, all right? Making sure first that we really get it mixed together well so that it cooks evenly. The goal is not to simmer and reduce this, okay? In essence, that base is done right now. And what I do in my restaurant is I keep gallons of this in my refrigerator. And when the time comes to make the sauce, then I'll come back and I'll finish it, as we're going to do in just a moment. But first I do want to ensure that I just come up to an initial boil and then I take it off. Okay? So while we're waiting for that, and this is what we're going to be adding in a little while, is heavy cream, okay? And that's about 40+% fat content in your heavy cream. If you're going to use cream, go for it, okay? Don't be afraid of it. Everything in moderation, okay? Now you can see we're coming up already. See here on the sides, we're beginning to see the boil. Now what you're also seeing here, you see that kind of foam, okay? In kitchens, we literally call this the scum, okay? And a scum is an impurity, and an impurity gets in the way of flavor. So we always want to have near us a little ladle, okay? And our goal is always to skim the scum. When we're making sauces, we're making anything that's liquid, anytime we're simmering, you're always going to see that the sauce wants to basically, it's clarifying itself. So we want to help that. And now I want you to watch what I do. I don't dig like this, okay? I'm just going to the side of it, and I'm kind of falling underneath it and letting it just kind of come into my ladle. Okay, and always around the sides, because you can keep the ladle pressed against the side to give you that balance. If you're out here, your hands are shaking, it's really tough. So you swirl, and you can see by the swirling, it pushes the foam out, and then you come and collect it on the side. Okay, and that's your basic technique. When you see that word in the books that you're reading at home all the time, which says to skim the sauce, this is exactly what they're talking about. And you can see I've got mostly scum, and I'm keeping that flavorful liquid in the pot. And that's another reason why we need to get this up to the simmer, so that all this nasty stuff that we don't want, we get rid of it. Because you can see in this small amount of time that we've been here, we're already, see the motion of the liquid? You see how it's getting ready, and how those bubbles now are even bigger? Now we're just, literally on the verge of that boil. And as you can see, I'm sticking with this. I'm not walking away. Okay, when we walk away, that's when things are out of sight, out of mind, and we tend to get burned, and we tend to get overflow. Okay? So be vigilant. I can already, and you're going to too, smell. I know you can smell that. The very intense flavor is coming off of this. And the boil is even helping. So, get the boil off, right? Now, this is soy, this is Worcestershire, this is ketchup. This is something that will be able to sit in your fridge for weeks and weeks, if not well into a month, and be used as a flavor base. I take this not only to do this dish. I'm going to show you one thing with the sauce, but I take this many times, and I'll take pork chops or filet or even fish, and I'll toss it very lightly in this, and then I'll let that marinate, and then I'll go to the grill and come back and then do the finishing sauce later to pour over the top. So this can be a marinade, a finishing sauce, anything you want. Once it gets in your fridge, you're going to find a million things to do with it.